Hey friends, Dolph here. It is hard to believe that I have not hit publish on a podcast episode in over a year. Since you have been kind enough to invite me into your ears every week, I wanted to let you know why I have been silent for so long. First, it's sort of a paradox. This has been an extremely busy time in my life and also a very introspective season. I just also need to say that I am so grateful for folks who reached out a few months after the last podcast episode was published, just to ask if I was okay. The short answer is, frankly, I was swamped with client work, but also had a couple of health scares over the past year. It's ironic because I feel as fit and energized as I felt when I was 25 years old. And while I'm not entirely out of the woods yet, I feel incredibly lucky. Even when we as human beings pause, though, the world continues to move forward. And during my podcasting hiatus, I have just been astounded that the podcast still gets downloaded every month. Listeners still reach out with questions, and frankly, I still do my best to try to respond to them. The podcast has frankly been a labor of love and also the fulfillment of a 1970s childhood dream of being a radio talk show host. Now, as I always say, that was back in the days when radio talk show hosts were kind and sane, but it has been a dream of mine. It also might seem odd that I hit the pause button just as I was celebrating my 10th year as a consultant and coach to nonprofit leaders around the country. I had the luxury of doing that because the vast majority of my consulting work comes from repeat clients and word of mouth, not the podcast. And that gave me the ability to take a step back and reflect on what I really wanted to share with folks in the sector. And when I did that, here's what I realized. After spending nearly 2 decades as a permanent or interim executive director and a dozen years coaching chief executives and their boards, I have a lot to share with people who are doing that job right now. That's why going forward, my podcast and also my newsletter, my email newsletter, are going to primarily focus on nonprofit chief executives. Right now, many chief executives and their organizations are facing immense pressure. As government funding shrinks, demand for services increases, the political climate, as you know, just exhausts everybody. And our chief executive roles have only become lonelier and more stressful. Over the course of my career, I have faced similar issues as an executive director, and I want to help you navigate them as well. So next month, the podcast is going to relaunch. It will come back with a much clearer, stronger focus, speaking to chief executives. And just so you have a sense about what some of the episodes are going to cover, a few of them that are in the queue is the real job of a nonprofit chief executive. I'm also going to do a solo episode on the executive director's framework for fighting fires. I'll be interviewing the author or one of the co-authors of the life cycle of a CEO. I'm also going to be doing a panel discussion with a couple of nonprofits of different sizes about the executive director's role in a $500,000 fundraising event. So there's a lot that's planned, and I hope that you're going to stay with me on this journey as we dive more into the work of nonprofit executive directors. Now, if you have a chief executive level question or topic that you want to make sure I cover, please email me at dolph@successfulnonprofits.com. I am also putting that in the show notes, but I would love to hear from you if there's a topic that you wish I would cover. Thank you again, friend, for inviting me into your podcast streamer every week. I am grateful to be a part of your own leadership journey.